Today we're talking about everything from the finale of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're going to give you our review, the details you missed, and everything to expect for Season 2, all that and more on an all-new episode of Unbinged starting now. Welcome into Unbinged, the podcast where we break down the shows, movies, and news you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown. I've got Jagger with me, Samantha Holt. We're going to talk everything from this finale, but first, the spoiler warning.
This is your one and only spoiler warning for everything A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, including everything Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, all the fun stuff. Now let's go and talk about it.
Let's do the season review scores right off the bat here, because I feel like there's going to be some positivity from this. Sam, I think you kind of hate this nickname, but Sunshine Sammy.
I don't like Sammy, but Sunshine is fine.
Sunshine Sam?
Yeah, that's good.
Better?
Yeah.
Kick us off here. Scale of 1 to 10. We do this for every show when it finishes. What is your score for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
I mean, you guys know my level of positivity and how much I've enjoyed this world, including the book, and I feel like it did it so much justice. So for me, it's a 10. I feel like that's not a shocking score coming from me, though, in terms of how I've scored things in the past. This is just something that hit for me on every angle. There was good humor, there was drama, there was, it had me on the edge of my seat at moments, even though I read the book. Again, like I still feel like the way that the showrunners composed this first season was perfectly done. So for me, it's a 10.
I want to just throw out here some other 10s that Sam had. Alien Earth, Predator Badlands, Superman.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
all solid.
And It Welcome to Derry. Also a 10.
Yeah, It Welcome to Derry. Also a 10. Yeah.
Those make sense. Koff had a 10. What are the rest of his?
Yeah. Okay. So our other co-host who's not here today, Matt Koffhammer, I asked him to give us his score. Obviously a 10. If he could go any higher, he would. Koff's other 10s on here. He has some good ones though. So the Penguin, Severance, Andor, Superman, X-Men 97, Predator Badlands, Agatha All Along.
It was actually really good. I thought it was
good.
Worse.
It was good
worse up until the end. Like that horse, that tail is fucked.
It's the horse meme.
Yeah, exactly.
It's solid.
All right, so we got 2 10s so far for both Koff and Sam. Jag, where are you at with the show? Oh, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
For dramatic effect.
No, I'm deciding between a 9.5 and 10. Like, I think it's a 9.5 for me.
Nice.
Actually, I'm going to give it a 10 because I think it was just a perfect first season. Like I know how the book and source material were. I don't know of any possible way they could have done a better job besides like some small things that Ira Parker's already apologized for. Like a knight who remembers his vows. He's like, sorry, I dropped the ball. I should have put that in,
That's always so impressive too, when like he's self-aware of what's going on with the show. And a lot of times you never see that. You see these writers, these showrunners that say like, yeah, but what I did was different and it was better and you should like that instead. Right? Like I love that Ira Parker said that.
There's a lot of accountability, I think, with this entire setup, the showrunners to the directors. And even when you watch the little bits after the episodes and how they make things, there's self-awareness is such a great way to put it. They know exactly what the audience has been wanting and they're excited to be delivering something different just because the source material is different, but they're sticking true to it in a really beautiful way.
Originally I was looking at this as a 9.5 because I was like, man, it is so close to perfect, little things here and there. And then I had to ask myself what I valued most about the show, and it is that the show was breaking ground in the Game of Thrones universe and doing things that we had not seen done. And they were able to take people that have a very strong fandom towards shows that have been around for a long time and make them fall in love with something new. And looking at this finale, the way it starts, the opening scene with Lionel Baratheon and the music, to the credits and the music that starts playing there, this show has achieved something where scene by scene, it can do these tone switches that nothing else in the Game of Thrones universe has been able to do, where you can feel like you went from watching The Red Wedding to a sitcom because of the way that like the music was going and the lines are being delivered. And that's something that's so impressive here that people are hearing. We could go 10, 15 seasons and audiences are like, yeah, I'm in. I'm down for that. So to me, that's a 10 if I've ever seen one. It's a game changer for this type of TV.
And I love the way you say about like it basically subverts expectations constantly with its tones. I remember when A Knight's Tale first came out, my father hated that movie so much. And he's just like, why are they playing Queen during medieval stuff? And I was like he was so fixated on that particular aspect of it. And I think even this show takes something from A Knight's Tale like that, with that upbeat tone. And I thought that you had messed up the screener when it opened up. I'm like, we got jazz? Like, what the fuck is this?
When I was hearing trumpets, I'm like, what? What's going on?
I thought the exact same thing. I was going to actually ask about it, and I forgot to before the show. I was like, did you mess this up?
Yeah. So but it worked. And like you said, at the end, we get another very modern song. It worked, that like, I like A Knight's Tale because I was young when that movie came out. But like my dad being an old head, I could see how jarring that was for him. They do a really good job with again, subverting expectations, setting a tone early on to where you both feel and don't feel like you're watching a Game of Thrones show. And I mean those things in both positive lights.
And for this show too, like something that was very different was it took a chance on saying, we're going to do 30-minute episodes. We are not going to give you big CGI dragons. We're not giving you crazy battles and a throne and all these things. We're going to make it about some guy that literally the people in his own universe don't give a fuck about. And we're going to ask you to care about this person. And I think that a lot of the complaints early on was that, it was slow. They just seemed like nothing was really going on early. Dog, it's 30-minute episodes. Like, if that's too slow for you, then I don't know what TV you need at that point. This show, to me, was all about the tone, the heart, everything that was coming into it. And even though, yes, some of our best episode was with a battle, I think that from the jump, I was sold on this.
Well, people were sold before the battle, the episode before then, with Baylor just showing up. All that was just speeches and vibes, and people were locked in because, again, we were on this journey from the jump. We've been on this journey since House of the Dragon, where even us on this pod, I remember telling Koff, we were in. I was actually going to apologize to him on the show. He's not here. Where we're like, sorry, big dog, this is going to be ass and everyone's going to hate it. Like you're the only one who wants this. And then we get this banger of a season.
Yeah.
Our ratings, looking back at House of the Dragon season 2, Koff gave it a 7. Jag, you gave it a 6. And I hate myself that I was highest on it, 7.5.
Yep.
We got to revisit that.
Mine's staying at a 6. I feel I was ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
this is why Jag judges the way that he does.
Yeah. I feel like Night of the Seven Kingdoms, when we finally had this to hang our hat on, people were like, oh my God, we could finally talk about how disappointed we are in House of the Dragon now that we have this to care about.
Yes, you finally have something to balance out this scale a different way.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Guys, I wanna break down everything from this finale and like where we could be going. But first, if you're watching this episode here, please give us a like on YouTube. Comment down below with your thoughts. What rating do you have for this episode? If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can leave those ratings as well, either in a comment on Spotify or a review on Apple or Spotify. Let us know what you thought of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and what shows you want us to cover next. Guys, every Tuesday, we're going to be giving you our biggest headlines in entertainment, just covering the things that you need to know about that are going on in movies and TV. And then every Thursday, we've got The Pit. That is like not even at its midway point yet. The Pit is just continuing to grow and get better. And then Paradise is going to be giving its 3-episode premiere on Hulu Monday, February 23rd. We're going to be covering that as well. And if you enjoy football, sports, the fun stuff, join us over on Front Row NFL show, where you're going to find myself, Jag, Sam, talking about the biggest headlines in the NFL every single week. And you just get a little bit more of us. Now, guys, this episode I thought started off so fun, and it was such an incredibly stark contrast from how the episode ended before. And like you said, I was the same way. I was just like, what the fuck am I missing? Did I skip an episode? Did I miss? Because we went from Sir Baylor dead with his brain falling out of his head and Dunk stressed out of his mind, crying, to jazz trumpet and Sir Lionel just kind of like staring down. It was a great opening scene, man. I wanted to point out Sir Lionel Bradley because this is the last time we see him, but he was just dropping bars, and we were throwing these in the group chat. No, okay.
Oh, you told me? Oh,
I don't know. I saw you put your hand up.
Yeah, I was like, I was waiting for you to say something.
You were spoiling. I was just like, don't tell him that Lionel's not going to be back because people are getting mad in the comments that we're spoiling ahead on the book.
Oh, well, first of all, I didn't know that because I haven't read that far, so you just spoiled it for me.
Second. God damn it.
How did you stop reading the book? I'm more mad about that.
Well, because I knew that this season only had to deal with that, but I was saying it's the last time we were seeing him in this season. We weren't going to see him later in the episode. You know what? We'll cut this. We're just going to bleep all of this out and cut this.
No, it stays in. This was a genuine moment. It stays.
I hate you. I hate everything that you are at this
The only
moment.
person you can be mad at is yourself.
Why the fuck would I be mad at me? I did nothing wrong.
I told him to shut the fuck up because he'll spoil it, and then I proceed to spoil it for him and the crowd. So, like, I will take this L. I'll eat it.
Jag has become the villain.
I am.
Be gone, witch. Fuck off with you.
There we go.
I was wondering how we could work that in, and we
Full
did.
circle. You did it.
We did
I saw it in the show notes. I'm like, are we going to say this to each other?
Absolutely.
love
Dude,
it.
he was dropping bars here to his, I don't know what, his shitty maester. I was shook for a second. He's like, yeah, Dunk's dying. He's dying from his wounds. It's beyond my abilities. It's
Yes.
just like, an itchy asshole is beyond your abilities. Fuck off. Be gone with you.
It was so good.
Just amazing, man. Amazing.
And then to go back even an episode before where, man, you want to talk to people like, I'd follow Dunk everywhere. I would follow Dunk, but I'd be like, hey, if you're in some trouble, holla at me. But I'm rolling with Lionel because what he just said, like with this straight up, he told Baelor, he's like, mother loved you best. He's like, no one fights harder than someone whose mother didn't love them. As someone who is that guy, I'm like, fuck yeah, he's right. Like I felt seen. Like everything he said was a bar. It's just like absolute nuts, man. It's like from the mouth of drunken babes, you know? It's just like nothing but truth.
He spoke so much truth. And I mean, you have it in the notes here too. The way that he, as soon as Dunk was saying that, you know, the best died and why would he wanted to protect him. Baelor is emphasizing that Lionel's emphasizing that Baelor risked nothing. You know, he fought against men sworn to protect him. He risked nothing and the gods don't favor a fraud. I just felt like he was speaking such truth that Dunk needed to hear because he's just down in the dumps. Woe is me. You know, the guy that I just realized I could look up to the most is now gone. But Lionel's like, look, this is reality. He didn't risk anything. When you make the choice that he did, it is on him. It's not on you.
Arguably, that's kind of granted. His brother killed him, but like you got to think he's playing softer than everyone else. Dunk's playing for fighting for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond fighting for his life. You know, Lionel, he's just there for a good time, you know, but he's fighting hard. You got to think that homie
Baelor was in a training
soft.
exercise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's in the X-Men danger room and he still happened to die. Like, sorry, dog.
He lost in a simulation, but player, you know.
Yeah.
Oops.
It happens.
Oh, man, the disrespect.
I thought that scene was so interesting, too, because like this is something Dunk has been dealing with Sir Arlen of Pennytree's death this whole time and what it meant to him and his legacy that he carried on. And now he gets this like very quick sort of get over it moment with Sir Baelor's death where Lionel like really spells it out for him. And someone like Dunk kind of needs that because there's no one else in his life that could spell out Sir Arlen's death and what it meant for him. And so it took him all this time, nearly the entire season, up until the very final frame of this season to process Sir Arlen's death and what it meant for his own story, that within minutes, he's able to process Baelor's death because Lionel's like, dude, fuck off. That guy was fighting the guys sworn to protect him. Like, it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also just for Dunk too, I feel like we watched his arc of growth in terms of understanding and accepting he wants to become a knight. People die. And this is just a reality that he's going to have to continue to face. And I think that's kind of like those that don't seek leadership are the best ones for it. Like he's also going to be the best one going forward to understand the power that it has to be someone that can choose, you know, who lives and who dies, or to risk their own life while others are going to risk theirs. This is just such a big, like, kind of adulting moment that Dunk needed across this entire season to take him going forward.
I will say too that I think that not everyone needs like a good Uncle Ben sometimes to like, you know, the great power comes with great responsibility. What is it like an Uncle Tim or something? An Uncle Lionel?
I love that Sir Lionel's thing is going to be gone witch, fuck off with you. That's his Uncle Ben moment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like he's coming in, like he's a different uncle. He's like, all right, man, it's time to stop being a little bitch, man. This is knighthood. People
actually
die.
his real line is the gods don't favor a fraud.
Yeah.
Because then Dunk asks, why do they favor me? And I think that was the first time where Dunk got to be introspective and look within himself. And we'll talk about it later, but then there's a moment later on in the show, in the episode, where Dunk finally values himself again.
Yeah.
Because he realizes, and again, spoiler, I've actually been very good at hitting the unders. This is called RNS, y'all. Real nigga shit. He realized, yeah, I'm a real nigga. So, like, I deserve this. I'm about this life. I'm about sleeping under hedges, hard, soft beef. I'm for real, you know.
He wasn't in the gym shooting with us.
Exactly. Bitch, he wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Fair.
Hey, speaking of characters that were in the gym, bro, Raymond Fossaway, what an awesome ending for him. As the first time I watched this, I'm like, this is the MVP of the episode. And for so many reasons, but I thought it was really funny the moment that we get with he and Dunk, where they see each other again for the first time after the battle, and Raymond's just giving him this long ass hug, and Dunk's like, all right, okay, that's enough. Like push them off.
The whole interaction was so good.
All of it was good.
Thing.
It's amazing, man. And for how much like we look at Dunk as being this guy that has mentally grown and emotionally grown and gone through so much experience, like think of everything that has happened for Raymond in this short period of time. Like you could say he's arguably had the same amount of growth as Dunk, emotionally and mentally. Oh, not mentally. We find out he's the dumbest motherfucker in the land after this. But it's such a good moment here. And then, guys, we got his new wife, Lady Rowan.
That's something else, man.
That was another level of full circle.
That is a joke landing so late. From the beginning of that first episode, it was like he wants to turn the whole world red, but we're already red. There's no even way that he could tell that that's not his kid because it's probably going to have red hair coming out. And he's like, oh, that's just from my wife, whatever.
Yep.
There's so much there that I'm like, damn, man. You know?
They did good.
We all got homies like that, though.
Like, she's really pregnant. And he's thinking that happened, like, what?
He's thinking that he's just magic. I mean, it's not shocking that a guy would think that.
I mean, she was pregnant the day before, though, no?
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
You don't
He
know
fucked her
that
pregnant.
fast.
He would have had to do
I know.
Yeah,
You
100%.
think she had
Maybe it was
full
dark and
breakfast?
it was only from behind. Like,
Yeah. It's like, that's just a full English
sorry,
breakfast
Sam,
in there.
earmuffs. Like, what do you want me to say? We're trying to figure. We're in this together. We're trying to figure out.
Like, this is for science. I'm trying to understand.
This is our own version of Mysteries Inc. Here. We need to figure this out.
What show was it? Was just like, I'm sorry, the public school system failed you. Sam. That's how I feel about Raymond Fossaway.
Oh yeah, which one was that?
And I love that in his mind, this is not even him doing her a service. It is her doing him a service. He's like, I didn't have a squire, anyone to tend to my wounds. And so I got her pregnant. I feel, I had to marry her. So now she's Lady Fossaway. Just like,
Even Dunk is like, his expressions are so good. He's just like, so confused. He's just like, he's like the audience being in the scene with the character as they're talking. The way that Dunk is reacting is so perfect.
And I love the way he's being nice to his homie because he knows. He's like, yeah, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good
So
job.
we all got that homie, man, where you're just like,
good for you, pal.
Are there some guys that are that dumb?
yes, Sam, come on now. Come on. You? Come on, people are asking us. Are
Come
guys
on,
that
Sam.
dumb?
That's just another level of dumb. I don't work with that level of dumb.
Okay. you've
Oh,
never
there's
seen
definitely.
it?
There's definitely guys like this is why they can't like keep the adventure going between those two. Because
Yeah.
Raymond Fossaway would definitely bring Dunk down to his level. Like Dunk needs egg. He needs someone smarter than him.
Yes.
when you say the bar for men is the floor, we're talking about the speakeasy. We don't even let y'all see how fucking stupid it is.
There's something below the floor.
Exactly.
It's a vault. Just a vault of idiots.
I don't play in there.
That's where we keep them.
Sure.
But now we got the green apple fossaways, which, I mean, we kind of knew that was coming. And later on, fucking Rowan, even she's just like, oh, the battle's turned your brain to applesauce. When he's like, how do they get the bees to do that? Magic? And she's like, fucking bee magic, you idiot.
That was so funny.
I would watch a whole like Game of Thrones style sitcom, like a multicam sitcom of those two just living their life on the orchard with the house pet Sweetfoot. I needed that.
Oh, yeah.
I needed to know what was going to happen with
What
Sweetfoot.
a segue. What a segue.
Loved
That's why
it.
you won awards, Alfredo.
That's it, baby.
Award winning, guys. We'll be here forever.
That was the one thing that my wife had been asking me about. She's like, he gets the horse back, right? Like, Dunk will get his horse back, right? And it is like the Padme Anakin meme, right? Like, just waiting. I'm
Yeah.
just like, you'll find out.
That was so sweet, though. Such a good moment. And then even to kind of loop it with how when he sold Sweetfoot and was like, give her oats and an apple, and now she's gonna go to an orchard with a ton of apples. It's just like, oh, that's so sweet. I loved
Edgar
how
Wright style shit where like we got a lot of payoff after setup, and
a lot of
Game of Thrones doesn't do that. Like, I'm not saying that Game of Thrones was never fun, because I feel like we got a little bit of revisionist history. Those first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones were gold. A lot of people are just fucking mad at the last 2 or 3. But we like this level of setup and payoff. You could only do that, I think, with this short of a show where the quality is so compacted within 30 minutes.
Because you can remember things. Like, you can
Exactly.
actually look back to 3 episodes ago and be like, yeah, I remember that. That was only
I forgot
90
niggas
minutes
were
ago.
even in the show sometimes in Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh, wow. I was like, how long he been gone?
We haven't seen the Hound in 2 seasons.
I think it's also just a good call out to the distinction between having something build up and then pay off versus being serving of the audience, like just to fill in because they know that that's what people want. And I think the only way they could have done that is to do the episodes the way they did, with short 30-minute episodes where you have a very specific amount of content to get through, and they left little pins, and at the end of the finale they picked them all up and said, now we can go to season 2 contentfully.
One of the concerns that I saw from people who have read the book and were like, well, there's only a couple pages left in this. Like, how are you going to do a finale? Like, there's not going to be much of anything. I feel like if you are looking between the lines and just paying attention to each scene, and I'm not saying like be the person writing notes as you're watching, there is so much in this that really I felt like we completed the story and the circle for so many characters at a really good pace and got to learn even more about Dunk, about Egg, about what could be in store for them in the future. I really, really enjoyed this finale. I thought it was the perfect punctuation that was the exact opposite of the battle and the stress and everything before. It was really a feel good punctuation here at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
And again, to bring it back to where I really trust them, that a lot of the small things that have been set up that we're going to get callbacks to, because we know that Ira Parker has like 15 extra books like of just Dunk and Egg. There's only the 3 that we have, like the Hedge Night, the Secret Night, whatever, and then there's the 3rd one where they go to
The Dark Knight.
Oh, thank you.
I'm fucking
I
with
forgot
you.
about that.
It's
I
not-
know, dude. I know, dude. I'm not at that fucking stupid.
Dark Knight
my
Rises.
brain isn't cider. I'm not Raymond here.
That's the one with Bane, right?
Yeah,
Arkham
exactly.
Yeah.
I do think that we get extra things. Like, now that we're past this, I think this is even going to be a treat to book readers because there's a lot of room for new things. Like, we end with Makar's like, where the fuck is Aegon? And, you know, homie lied again and just dipped out. Like, that's going to be a nice little Easter egg. I genuinely hope we see Raymond in the future as like this home away from home that they go and visit. Let's go see homie Raymond and get some cider or whatever. And we get to see the Fossaways grow from like the green apple and red, because we do know that they separate and become essentially like rival houses. So I think it's going to be a treat in the future for both book and people and non-readers. Like, and I mean treat as in we don't know what's going to happen because there's so much in between each of these stories that we've gotten and beyond.
Well, we also know that they just did so much with so few pages. It's a very short book overall in terms of how they cover everything. And I even feel like, yeah, I even feel like in this story, they did a really good job of filling in between the pages in a way that felt true to the source material. And I think that when you're writing from something so short, you have the ability to kind of add in things that are unnecessary. And I didn't feel like they did that. They didn't add any extra characters that didn't make sense. They didn't add onto any other character's story that wasn't necessary. They built everything in a way that was very, very well completed.
My confidence level for this show is very high because I think they, going forward, because they proved that they could do multiple things. I think where a lot of people got nervous initially is like, man, you came out the gates with dude shitting on the, like literally shitting on the Game of Thrones theme. I can't do multiple seasons of that. I can't do 6 episodes of that. But then they proved they could be more than that. They proved we can give you the fighting sequences. We can make you care about characters. We can still have the jokes and we can do all these things, but we're going to give you a complete story, a complete feeling when you're watching this show. And that was something that they proved. I felt like they did that pretty early, but I think they really proved that over time.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think this, when I say high contrast, I don't mean as in like color correction or anything like that. I just mean in the writing. This is a high contrast show where like the brights are bright and the darks are dark, you know, because like you forget that. How could you forget this big plot point where we had to shit on the Game of Thrones theme and then Sir Arlen the Hung, you know, open up on the second one. Exactly. We basically had 2 intro episodes before we actually get into it. And this is a rare case where Ira Parker talking helped and didn't hurt, where a lot of times we have all these after shows, all these interviews with the showrunners and writers, where sometimes the more they talk, I'm like, you're giving me the ick. Shout out to the Duffer Brothers. You know, like even James Gunn sometimes was talking too much, where, you know, I build trust with him because, again, apologizing for leaving things out, being open about what you have, and not just talking at your ass, you know, that's something that matters to me, where I do have trust. And like, I don't know, you want to talk about following Dunk anywhere? I kind of follow Ira Parker everywhere. He's like our new Dave Filoni, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, homie's sticking to the source material. Let him run everything going forward. So.
Let him cook.
And George R. Martin already loves him too. Like they worked very closely. I love the comp you made to like an Edgar Wright thing, because I love the Cornetto trilogy that Edgar Wright was a part of. Like I adore those. And you're right, it does feel a lot like that, where they can mix some of the like the actual dangers and adventure of it all with the comedy so well. This obviously needed to be a little bit like the pitch needed to be a little different here. And there's a moment in the middle of the episode where I think they tap into that emotion of it, and like they make you get serious again for a moment. And it's when Dunk and Maekar are talking to each other for the first time, and they're discussing whose fault it is for Baelor's death, and that's why it's really the whole getting over Baelor's death is still there for Dunk, because he feels like it's his fault. And in reality, like throughout this conversation, he comes to realize it's also Maekar's fault. It's also Arian's fault. It's also just Baelor's fault in his own. Like this was his life. He made his own choices. And there's a line here that he says, how could, like, you know, he's talking about, I could have lost my hand, my foot, whatever. How could a foot be worth a prince's life? Maybe there will be a morrow when the realm will need that foot more than the prince's life. And Maekar says, not fucking likely. And like it was a great time where they put like the emotion with the humor, but they let you do that deep dive into Dunk's soul, where he's actually being accepting of himself and saying, you know, he's probably playing back the Lionel Baratheon thing of the gods don't favor a fraud. Why do they favor me? He's giving himself purpose now, greater purpose that he ever thought he had.
I mean, it's building on the purpose that he originally thought, where he thought, well, my purpose is to be a knight. And that was just such a blank page with a title at the top. And now he can start to fill in what that story is going to actually look like.
Yep, and we already know he's going to be richer than a Lannister, so the gods got plans for him. We even have the same moment with Egg, where I think he's about to kill Arya. I was hoping he would at least slide the knife between his legs and get all weird and incestuous on him back. I don't want that now that I say it out loud, but it would have been funny.
Like, you just made it weird. You just gave me the ick. Why? I didn't need that. He's innocent.
I'm not the one who did that. Blame Arian for starting this, Sam, not me. Okay, I didn't do that.
Fair.
I thought that scene was perfect.
It was really well done.
Absolutely, really, really well acted by Dexter Saul Ansel. Just saying so much without saying a single word. That kid can fucking act. The tears, the facial expressions, everything. I mean, he heard Dunk's speech, and he heard everything that Dunk stood for. And in that one moment, you see earlier he's rubbing his head. He sees that the hair is growing back, and it's like for a moment he remembers who he is. He's not Dunk's squire. He is still part of this Targaryen fucking mess. And in just one night of being back in their castle, being back with them after this battle, he is ready to kill his brother. And how destructive it is for him to be within the presence of these other people. You see why he makes the choice later to leave again.
Yep.
100%. He's like, I can't grow here. I can't become the person I need to become here. This isn't a place for me. I need to be out there. And yeah, just the quickness with which I'm not going to put up with my brother anymore and put up any more of his shit. Let's end this now is huge.
And Dunk even knows that without even speaking to Egg, which I think is very defining about their relationship, because he tells Maekar, it's just like, Darren didn't eat salt beef, Arian didn't sleep under hedges, and you got two cunts for sons, So it's like, maybe let this guy live amongst some normal people, and then we see what happens.
Man, there's a line here that Maekar delivers when Dunk is saying, I want to take him as my squire and have him go with me. And it's funny how they changed, because after that scene, this is when Maekar says he's my last son. And he I'm curious as to what it is that he is feeling there, because he has that scene where Egg drops the knife and he kind of comforts him. But also I think that the way Maekar looks at that is that it's more than him just being the youngest son, that he's quite literally the last son that he thinks he can connect with. Yeah. This is the only son that he even views as a person.
He watched his son choose to not be cruel, that's...
And I think it's that much more magnified by him losing his brother. And the way all this happened, right? Like just through this fight that comes from the pride of his own son being a cunt, and talking about Arian, but then seeing who Egg truly is. I mean, it truly was and is his last son. So to have that end scene, that tag scene after the final credit, where he's like, just Egg's back on his shit, and he's like, where the fuck is Aegon? Like, it is meant to be a comedic thing, but it also, like, you probably feel a little bit of that heartbreak for him, that like, damn, the one last son that I really thought I had just does not want to fucking be here.
He's not even Targaryen blonde and pale. That's just his sons that did that shit. He's probably dark-headed like Daryl. Everyone's just like, why does he look so much younger than Baelor? And I'm like, I don't know, man. You've seen his kids. That'll age you.
Yeah, that'll age you for sure.
Yeah, we even to go a little adjacent from the Targaryen family here, there's a moment for Dunk where he speaks with, was she Lady Gwyn or Princess Gwyn of Ashford?
I think she'd
be a lady.
Yeah, lady? She'd be a lady,
sure,
yeah.
Why not? She's a lady.
Koff can get mad at us later.
Yeah, that's fine. People are screaming at us in the comments, whatever. She goes... It's crazy because like everyone, I feel like, from this show had growth, which is nuts to think of, because you don't always get that in Game of Thrones in this universe. She went from just straight up like throwing hands at Dunk at the beginning of the series to then saying that she didn't blame him. It was a rotten thing they had done to him, and he was right in his reply.
Yeah.
What's crazy is we could have avoided all this with just like one person having that tiny level of maturity. You wouldn't have had this whole fight.
And it's just like the law sometimes, where it's just like, well, he deserves a trial, and I'm like, really, dude? It's like, especially like Maekar saying, like, oh, you're gonna use a 100-year-old Andal rule right now.
Yeah,
It's like
use one of the oldest possible rules to go and get something that you want just because.
yeah.
That's like someone today invoking like the right to a 10 paces duel.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're gonna pull a Hamilton right now. It's just like, it's like, really, dude?
Just pull out the white glove and slap. I challenge you.
I demand satisfaction.
I kind of need to see you guys do that. Like if we get to do like a group trip and we go to Disney World and you guys are about to do like a duel with lightsabers, I need that kind of like a white glove slap first before I let you guys do that.
How about this? Wasted. We test cough. We test cough to see if he has ever watched this episode. And we just slap the fuck out of him with the white gloves. He has no idea what's coming.
Duel. And I'm going to stand on an ottoman with the lightsaber and say I had the high ground.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay, guys, so we get to the end of this episode here where Dunk and Egg are traveling off, and we get this final last look at Sir Arlen of Pennytree. There were so many moments throughout this episode where we keep referencing Sir Arlen, where like Dunk is having that sort of like vision, I guess we want to say, or just like a daydream, whatever, where he's asking, why didn't you knight me? And you straight up think he's dead. And then he pulls, I can't remember. That feels like it's like a Marvel movie or something where like you think that the character's dead and he just comes back and he just keeps talking again.
One more breath.
Yes. I can't remember what it is. But it was a genuinely funny moment here. And we get the line where he says, a true knight always finishes his story. And I think that works on so many levels here because really the end of Sir Arlen's story was not really his death. It was what becomes of Dunk, because that was the person that he affected in his life. And he like just was able to influence. And that's honestly too, like how we look at that, right? As like whether we're a parent, an uncle, a relative, whatever, it's how we influence other people. The end here where he then, his horse veers off, whether his spirit, ghost horse, whatever, veers off. It's the end of his story. And it truly is now the start of Dunk's story, where he now is a knight, whether he has that title or not. Inside, he feels that, and this is his real story beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really feels like I love the moment of him walking away too. And to your point, like there's these visions, these moments where you feel like he's thinking of him being there kind of in the past and kind of this ghost, but it's really this moment of letting him walk away from him in a very real, the horse going that direction and them going another one, that I felt was so beautiful in terms of this isn't just like a quick, sometimes it kind of feels a little cheesy when it's like the ghost of your past is like right there. And this wasn't like, you know, some translucent ghost. This was him literally parting ways with Dunk so that Dunk can continue going forward. And I think that was really well done.
It's Dunk letting go too, you know, being able to move on. All right, guys, this is the part where normally we let Cough rap for 30 seconds and let him just say all the autistic Game of Thrones thoughts that are like crammed in his head that he really wants to get out. And he's not on the episode, but he wrote down some notes, and I think it'd be really funny to make Sam read these.
I don't want to read them.
I really want you to. That's like, now you nailed this even more as to why I want you to read this.
You reacted
because you have no Game of Thrones history before Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. So actually, Knight of the Nine Kingdoms. So,
this is
Sam,
where the notes say why it's called the Seven Kingdoms.
Yes. And you know what? Because he's not here, I'm not even going to time it because I trust you.
Thanks. It's like when you ask the one kid in class to read out loud for everyone that really doesn't want to, and I'm just gonna,
Junior.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sounding out the words and not gonna pronounce any of them correctly. So, like, get ready, everyone that loves Game of Thrones, to be
Shout
mad
out
at me.
to Tia Freitas. I hate how Mr. Beard used to make you read all the time.
All right, okay. Sam, you ready?
Yeah.
You got 30 seconds. I want to see you keep a good pace through this.
Why it's called the Seven Kingdoms. Before Aegon's conquest, Westeros was divided into 7 individual kingdoms. 1. The North, ruled by the Starks of Winterfell. 2. Dorne, ruled by the Martells of Sunspear. 3. Westerlands, ruled by the Lannisters of Castlereagh Rock. 4. The Reach, ruled by the Gardener Kings of Highgarden, later replaced by their stewards of the Tyrells. 5. The Vale, ruled by the Arryns of Erie. I'm definitely getting all of these wrong. 6,
Erie's
the Stormlands. Correct. Okay, there you go.
I'm really glad you didn't say Irie.
It's fine. All right, 6. The Stormlands, ruled by the Durin kings, later usurped by Orys Baratheon, Aegon's best friend and champion. 7. The Rivers and Isles, aka the Riverlands and Iron Islands, ruled by Harren the Black of House of Hoare.
Close enough.
Okay. He finished Harrenhal right before Aegon started his conquest and famously challenged Aegon to burn him out, which he did with
Balerion the Dread, yes.
Okay. And then finally, the Irelands can be argued as an 8th kingdom, but during the conquest, they were lumped in with the Riverlands because they had conquered that land in the century preceding the conquest. Now they are lumped in as part of the North and basically ignored until they do something stupid. The Crown lands were never an independent kingdom. That land is a Washington, D.C. situation. The land is from the Riverlands and the Stormlands. I'm not going to read that last part.
Damn it.
I really wanted to see if we could get you to Ron Burgundy it.
No, I saw you starting to write, and I was like, whatever he is doing, just don't let your ADD get distracted.
I wrote cough is a bitch. So cough, if you're listening, you're a bitch. But we love you.
You're not.
We miss you.
To piggyback off that before we go is the big thing is like Aegon is known as being half a commoner. And he's really just giving respect to all these holds as individuals and able to run the way they see fit. And that is kind of put a pin in that for Egg's future. Shout out to the scary witch with the prophecy. So,
amen.
Well, that was a perfect way to end this because, like the witch, we're going to be gone and fuck off now. It's the end of the episode. It's a wrap, but we will be back again. For those of you that have been watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms here on HBO, we're also covering The Pit. So if you haven't caught up on that, make sure you catch up on The Pit because we're going to be back every week on Thursday nights doing that. Like I mentioned, every Tuesday, we've got the biggest headlines in entertainment news, movies, TV, games, everything that's happening out here. And then we've got the 3-episode premiere of Paradise coming to Hulu/Disney Plus on February 23rd. Guys, I just watched that whole first season. I did not expect to like that show as much as I did. That is a really well-written show. There was not a single moment where I was like, I know what's happening next. They continued to throw me off. Jag, I know you've seen all of it, right?
Yeah, I told you it was good. I've never told you.
I'm still playing catch up.
Yeah. We got Euphoria coming too, HBO people.
Woohoo!
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Getting caught up on Euphoria. It's like, it's heavy.
Yeah, the 50% of people that watch Game of Thrones and Euphoria,
they'll be like, oh, great. Something else for me to join in with this team.
All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap from us. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Sam, and for Cough. We'll see you next time. Adios.